movies and TV shows, comics and collecting and superheroes. There's no end to the useless stuff they know. But don't call them geeks, they're just regular Joes.
Welcome to the Regular Joe's podcast. I'm Dave Pisani.
I'm Barry Kay.
And I'm Todd Pleasant.
Hello, everybody. Middle, almost of December. As you listen to this, it'll be the middle of December, more or less.
Crazy.
Time is flying.
Yes.
Time is flying, yes.
And we're going to leave 2020 behind. Who's
Good
gonna miss
riddance.
Yeah.
Yeah. So today, we're going to talk about a couple things. We're going to talk about, I know we do this every week, but we're going to talk about The Mandalorian, and we're going to talk about why we're not watching it anymore. We'll get into that.
So it'll be a little different this week than the last.
It's a tragedy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why we're boycotting
so people,
it and why
you can just expect
too.
for the next 3 weeks, we're going to spend a little time on Mandalorian. It's because, and here's the thing, we don't really talk about this unless we're recording the show. So there's been a lot of like, did you see? Did you see? And yeah.
It's or just little like effing Mando.
Yeah. That was my email to you guys.
This is like our post-watch therapy session, and you get to be part
Because
of
we're
it.
not sure if anyone's watched, if we've all watched it.
Yeah.
And
Just like we're terrible on the show about spoilers, we're good about it in our real lives. We
In
try
our real
not to
lives.
spoil
we
each other.
won't spoil it. We'll spoil it for you douchebags, but we're not going to spoil
We
it for
don't
us.
spoil it for our friends.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we'll talk about that and I guess something else unless we bump it again. But do all the normal things, like us on iTunes and stuff like that, or follow us on iTunes, or
Or leave
us
a review, maybe.
or
Leave a review on Instagram. I don't know how any of this works, but do it.
comment this on Instagram.
Social media, it's a thing.
We haven't posted a lot, but it's a little monotonous. But check out the website, regularjoes.com. Is that up to date, Todd?
It is not, but it will be by the time they hear this. So.
Okay. Not that that wasn't a challenge.
No, I still need.
just wasn't
I
sure,
still need a
but
few things from people. So
all the pictures, all the stuff we talk about, there is photos on
yes,
Eventually.
yeah. Look at the
Eventually.
monthly galleries, and you'll see everything there. And
yeah,
yep.
all of that. But let's go random.
I want to go first.
Todd, what do you got? What? Wait, what?
I said I want to go first.
Oh, okay. You jumped in.
I'm going to go first. All right, so there's a dude named Chaim Eshed. He's an 87-year-old Israeli former head of Israeli Defense Ministry Space Directorate.
Directorate.
You guys heard this story?
No.
I
Okay.
didn't know that Israel went to space at all.
This was in the news today. This is breaking news. He claims that there is a galactic federation of aliens.
Yes.
The
I did
US
not know
government
who made the claim. Yep.
He is claiming the U.S. government, including Donald Trump, knows about it. That the aliens have asked Donald Trump not to tell anyone because humanity's not ready. And he claims that we've signed a contract and that aliens are on Earth doing experiments. And, the best part, there is an underground base on Mars where the aliens have taken humans to and they are doing experiments there. And this is a high-ranking Israeli military official who is saying he's saying this all now because he has nothing to lose.
Mental illness
This was
can
reported
happen to
on
anyone.
real news today. This was on NBC News today.
I didn't see that. I watched Haley Jackson today, who's really cute. If you don't watch her,
This
but
blew
she didn't
my
mention
mind.
Anything? Is this like? I'm just gonna say the craziest shit because it can't be anything crazier than this clown saying himself.
Well, and
No,
what they're
this
saying
is
is
someone
that,
who is certifiably wackadoo, and he just got out of the box.
I don't know. I mean, look, I think it's completely bonkers, but it kind of ties into why did Trump create the Space Force a couple of years back?
So just stop for 1 second. Okay.
He doesn't
Stop-
like
stop
aliens
for
from
just-
Mexico.
whoa.
Why
Okay.
would he let aliens from outer space come?
Okay, so I could totally buy that there are aliens on Earth, I would totally buy that the Israelis know about it before anybody else because they have the best intelligence service of anybody else. Okay, where he lost me was Donald Trump knows about it and he hasn't told anyone. Okay, because that's not possible.
He doesn't care.
Okay,
he only cares about himself.
The next time he's at the podium, he would say, "There's aliens on Earth, and I'm responsible for it."
Let me ask you this:
nobody had aliens on Earth before I brought aliens to Earth.
Isn't it equally implausible that this guy would say all of this today and name Trump in it, and Trump wouldn't be on Twitter tweeting, calling this bullshit? Trump hasn't tweeted about it yet.
Yeah, Trump hasn't
about himself.
There's almost 300,000 people dead in this country, and Trump doesn't mention it. He doesn't pay attention to a lot of news other than stuff that relates directly to the election.
Maybe he didn't read that briefing. He didn't read a lot of them.
Yeah. Maybe.
Twice today, he publicly stated that he won the election. Okay? He's not focused on the aliens. He's really not.
I just found
unless they cross the border to vote for Joe Biden. And then he's worried
I'm looking at maybe they're responsible for all the votes.
We'll get that in January.
I'm looking at all the major news websites. No one has this on their website.
Really? I will send you the link I found on NBC. My son told me about it today. He heard about it. I went and looked, and there was an NBC news story on it.
Okay, maybe he's embarrassed that he built the wall in the wrong place and that aliens are still getting in.
Maybe. But I do love that they call it the Galactic Federation.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's a rough translation. In Alien, it's like Gug Hugumag Maha, something like that. But that's how
you guys will be eating these words in a few months when Joe Biden tells us that there's aliens.
Joe Biden comes out and just says,
"Then I may believe it."
All right. In the news story, they made a point to say we're not talking about illegal immigrants. We're talking about space aliens.
Actual space aliens. Oh my God.
Yeah, it made me laugh. In a day where I had very little laughter, it made me laugh. So I wanted to go first.
Yep.
Okay, there you go. Okay. Todd, what do you got?
Okay.
Anything?
It is totally hard to follow that with anything. But everyone you've ever seen in a Spider-Man movie will be in Spider-Man 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
and some people you don't even want to see again, you'll see again.
Yeah. Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, Kristen Dunst, Emma Stone, Alfred Molina.
Wait, I heard about Alfred Molina. The other ones are confirmed, or they're just still rumors?
Well, I saw a bunch of headlines today. I saw the big one was about Alfred Molina, but then I also saw one about Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Kristen Dunst.
This is just a couple hours ago, and they're saying, of course, Jamie Foxx is the first one they mentioned. Emma Stone is going to reprise Gwen Stacy, pregnancy permitting.
See, that one I didn't see.
The only one that's not on paper at this point is Tobey Maguire, but he's agreed. He just hasn't signed.
So they're obviously doing the Spider-Verse, and that's why they're bringing in those bad guys.
Yep.
An Andrew Garfield bad guy, a Tobey Maguire bad guy.
Yes.
That makes sense.
I want to see Spider-Pig.
I kind of do, too. I gotta say.
Who should play him?
Even if it's in like a dream sequence or something. But
if they're clever, they'll throw that in for sure. This sounds like it's going to be very cool.
It's going to be something. It's either going to be really cool or it's going to be a train wreck, but either way, it'll be fun.
Yeah.
Have they started filming it yet? Or
I think they have.
I thought we heard a couple weeks ago.
I thought we heard a few weeks ago that they were doing some preliminary filming.
Yeah, that was the rumor because we were wondering why he was where he was or something.
Anyways, we will see it on December 17th, 2021. So
in your living room,
possibly in a living room near you. So.
Yeah. Along those lines, I'll throw this in as a random. I didn't even write it down, but there was rumors of Obi-Wan show starting to film next month in Boston.
Yeah, I was going to say that too.
I read that too.
That's interesting. We have to find if that's true.
Is
we
it
have to find
possible that
Why
they
the hell
built
would
another
be in
volume
Boston?
up in the Northeast? Like Boston seems like an odd place to me, unless they're either using some specific setting, or there's a volume up here in the Northeast now, and we just don't know about it.
I will say a ton of stuff is shot in Massachusetts now, and they're giving huge tax breaks, but I actually look at a couple of the casting feeds that are looking for people, and there's nothing that looks like that they're looking for right now. Boston Casting and a few others, and nothing seems like they're.
Well, they may not need extras for this.
That's what I'm saying. So it's got to be. I mean, it's very possible they're using, a tech company interior or something like that. They're redressing or something. I can't.
It just doesn't make sense. You get when they go to Italy, it looks like certain things, but it wouldn't make sense to be on location. I mean, if they wanted snow, they can go someplace else for it.
But a couple of years ago, if they had told you that they were filming something in Atlanta, you would have thought that was odd. But now so much stuff is filmed in Atlanta. It is absolutely true. But
it's based in Atlanta. It's all outside of Atlanta.
But my point being that they've built sound stages there. They could build sound stages. I mean, they have big sound stages on Long Island that they use that you don't ever really hear about.
A lot of big empty warehouses on the East Coast, so you can fit a lot of big screens in those.
Yep.
But they'd be smart to go to New Zealand where there's no disease.
Yeah, but
anyway,
the Obi-Wan show's you would imagine, has to be taking place primarily in a desert. So,
yeah, that's what I'm figuring. Yeah. Who knows? And the volume is in L.A., right? That's where they
the
film.
volume that they did Mandalorian is in L.A., but I mean, since they built the first one, there have been discussions about them building them in Europe and building them in other places.
We should build one and rent it out.
Totally. Yes. Or just play around in it all the time.
Anyway.
I need to hit the lottery, so if I hit the lottery, we will build a volume, we'll all quit our jobs, and we'll just play around in the volume all the time.
I like it.
It'll be like The Matrix.
Yep.
Any other random?
Yeah, I mean...
I have another one. So Eagle Moss is putting out a...
I was gonna mention that.
Subscription.
Yes.
Enterprise D.
Did you see the video?
Putting a what Enterprise?
Enterprise D
just
subscription,
build.
You get the
right,
kits.
yes.
Just like the Millennium Falcon that I built, that Dave bought and didn't build.
And sold.
They're doing the Enterprise D, 2.5 feet long, full lighting system. I mean, it looks spectacular.
120 sets.
Yeah, it's a two plus year.
$1,800.
Yeah.
There's they've got a DB4 going right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
They've been doing that. Yeah.
But the video shows a little bit of the construction, and it's very much like the Falcon. It's got the full metal frame on the inside, and the plating goes on the outside. It's got full lighting. It looks. I mean, the finished build of it looked spectacular, but.
See, the thing that I like, not that I'm doing it, I like about that versus the Falcon, because that, something that's supposed to look clean so that you don't have to dig into all the weathering and everything.
I would hope that out of the box it looks good enough that it doesn't need to be painted, because that would be a beast to paint. But
D wouldn't be my first choice, though.
No, if it was the original series Enterprise, if it was either the original series or the refit, I would probably be in.
The problem with the original series is it's too simplistic.
There's not enough to it. Even if you light it,
there's not enough color and pattern.
Accurate, there's not enough to it.
Yeah,
I don't know
the
about
refit
that.
would be interesting.
I mean, once you start building it at that scale, it needs the complete frame around the whole thing. There'd be a lot.
I'm saying
of
more the
parts
paint job is just kind of flat. You know, the other ones have all that texture to them and stuff.
The Aztecing, but yeah, I mean, I wonder how well they're going to be able to pull that off when they're sending you the pieces over the course of, those colors over the course of 2 years have to match exactly, or it's not going to look right.
What was the QMX? They had those like $9,000 ones.
Right.
Yeah, those were the artisan built ships. Yeah.
But was that the original series one, or
they did a bunch of different ones? They did the
They
original
even did
series.
the Reliant, which is just weird.
They did the Reliant. They did a bunch of different ones.
But see, that's the kind of thing that's like, that's a $9,000 thing, and in theory, you put something together that could look close to it for about $1,800. That's not so bad.
I feel like it would need to be the refit to get me to do it. To be honest,
I would say the refit would be the one that I would want. It's iconic, but also it's more elaborate and
yeah.
And I
They're
feel
just
like I just
big.
have
That's
this
the problem.
strange compulsion every time I see it to walk slowly around it for 7 minutes.
If it was 16
thing
inches
with-
long, I mean, that's like a nice big size, but not over. I mean, these things are 2.5 feet. It's just too big.
But that compared to the Falcon, it could take up a smaller footprint. That can go on a stand,
Yeah.
the shape of the Enterprise, and sort of be like, I could put it like right here on a stand,
Yeah.
and it could sit there. You can't do that with the Falcon. Not that the Falcon's not awesome.
No, but
I'm
you know
saying
what?
in terms of
the width of the saucer and the spread of the nacelles makes it a pretty wide piece.
well, that's that thing. That's why I'm saying the other one. You know,
Yeah.
Just
the D just doesn't do it for me.
Yeah,
Anyway.
it's odd to me that was the one that they decided to go with.
it is. I mean, even when I go back and watch it, it's the old episodes. It's not a particularly inspiring looking ship at this point. I mean, it looked futuristic
It's very 80s
compared to the original, and that's what they're looking for. They were looking for, oh yeah, now we're 100 years in the future, but it does kind of look like a big cruise ship.
But they moved away
and
from that
let's-
aesthetic pretty quick.
They did.
I mean, they kept that for the run of that series, but every other ship they brought in, the Excelsior and all these other ships, looked different and looked more like the ships from the movies. Now, that's partly because they were reusing models that they built for the movies,
Right.
but once they got past
Well,
even
even
that
the
into all the
Voyager
other
looked
series, nothing else
different.
looked like the Enterprise D.
Yeah,
no.
but it had the awesome saucer separation that took 45 minutes, and they did it once because
did it
it was
once.
just like, oh my god,
And then
that
came
model
up with a
kit-
good reason not to do it again, even
That
though they had
model
that
kit
stock
allows
footage.
you to separate the saucer section. I don't know if you read that part of the description.
Yeah, I did see
Yeah.
that. Yeah, no one's gonna do it.
Nobody's
It
gonna
take
do it.
longer. Took longer on the show than it'll take you to actually do it.
I think they did it twice in the entire 7 seasons, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the second time didn't go well.
The second time it didn't go well at all.
No.
Anyway, you know what goes well all the time? Fanboy Collectibles. Pre-show, we were talking about this. Hot Toys Batman and Bat Pod. If you didn't get the Christopher Nolan Batman figure with, what's his face?
Christian Bale.
Who's the guy? Christian Bale. You need it. I think that is that's my, well, I like the 66, but that's an awesome Batman figure.
It really is.
It really
I
is.
think we all. Do you still have yours, Barry? Or you got rid of yours?
I did get rid of mine because I decided I was not going down the DC route. I had Catwoman and Batman, and that was it. And I got rid of them, and I don't regret it. But when I saw this come up, I'll tell you, I was tempted to get him again because it is such a good looking figure.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
It's funny when I
No,
look
it is
at
a great
this.
figure.
Is, as I told you guys, that was my first actual Hot Toys figure that I had in my hands. It was the second one I ordered, but it was the one that came in first, and it's been a slippery slope since then.
Yes, it has. But so there's that and the Bat Pod.
Which I'm getting.
Sideshow premium format Moff Gideon, which is interesting.
That's pretty cool.
They sort of beat Hot Toys to the punch, but yeah, that's pretty awesome. But there's Pops and there's Kotobukias and there's all the stuff you
I
need.
didn't
And
even
it's
get
the
that
holiday
was premium
season.
format.
Yeah, holiday season. So call them up, go to the store, mail order. They're getting stuff in time for Christmas, gift certificates, anything you need. FanboyCollectibles.com or their store in Newtown, Connecticut. Tell them Regular Joe's saying you. Okay, so episode
6.
what is it? 6?
Can you
6
believe
of the
we're up to
Mandalorian
episode 6 already? There's only 2 more.
So it's the last one we're watching. They've
Aptly
jumped
named
the shark.
The Tragedy.
I know, Jesus. I was like, I'm watching and the title comes up. I'm like, that's not going to be good. And Pam's like, what do you mean? I'm like, trust me, it's not going to be good. But so they had the freaking balls to bring Boba Fett back, which I know we're all against.
Okay. So
And
Wait.
we're
This is for
boycotting the
this
show.
is for listener Doug Monroe who posted on Facebook. I can't wait to hear Dave's comments about Boba Fett.
Oh, I didn't even see that. Doug, thank you. He's not alive. Trump won the election, and that's all I have to say about this.
These are all lies we tell ourselves.
Okay. So I will say I have always felt he was kind of a overrated, wasted character. Okay? again, he was almost more of
agree
a
with
plot
that.
device than a character. It was just, oh yeah, he's that guy. You know,
He was a cool suit, is all he was.
He was a
great
cool
character
suit
design.
that never quite lived up to the thing.
But
Damn, they fixed that.
They're like, it's the next Darth Vader. If you're going to make it be the next Darth Vader, the way you wrote this, you did the guy a disservice. But anyway, go ahead, Todd.
No, but I think this is the Mandalorian that we should have gotten. We should have gotten a Mandalorian who was extremely capable and brutal when he needed to be, not someone who slapstick falls in gets bumped into and falls into a Sarlacc pit.
A vagina in the sand. There, I said it.
It's just
So do we not? So after how many years? 37? Is it 37 years since
37.
Jedi? I guess
Yeah.
it is. Do I not blame Boba Fett finally, or do I let him redeem himself? It's been 37 years since I've been calling him a little bitch.
You know what? It's almost
you've
better
been
that they
saying
haven't.
he died like a bitch. You didn't necessarily say
Yeah.
he was the bitch.
And it's not. Maybe it's not his fault.
Yeah,
I know everyone's gonna be, everything
Okay,
Jon
put it this
Favreau
way.
does.
If
Jon
I
Favreau
could-
can crap in a box,
if-
and you guys would love it.
If I could come around
to
At this
to
point,
forgiving
yes.
Hayden Christensen for the dialogue yeah. Anyways,
I don't blame. Yeah, I don't
I
blame
don't think
Hayden.
you should blame the character for the fate he's given.
It's been a lot of years though. I've been calling him out though.
Well, it's one of your things. It's like you pretending that you don't like Tim Burton.
No, that's completely different.
Oh, that's real. I forgot.
That's a real thing.
I'm actually happy that they didn't spend any time explaining how he got out of the Sarlacc pit, and maybe they will
He was
do
left
that.
for dead,
Maybe they'll do that in his
Just
own
like-
series. Who knows? But it doesn't
just
matter.
like Agent May.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
How in the desert he had robot stomach parts? I have no idea. But
Wait, you don't have robotic stomach parts in your desert kit? Come on. It's like
He took her to Babu Freak. He fixed her up.
that's right.
anyway,
Holy
there's spoilers
crap!
by the
What
way.
an episode! When you saw the Slave One flying in, I didn't
Like
expect
holy
that.
crap! I'm like,
And
Part of me
that
was
the,
like-
that was the really cool thing about it, because it's like in all the this time he's still got the same ship, and it's just it's like it was so it so looks like nothing else in that universe. It's very, very iconic, and you're like, you just know what's happening. It was great. So
Who's the thing
I-
is, why? What I would like to know, and maybe we'll get it in a comic book or something, but that Marshall had the armor for a while. Why did he not take it back from him? Why did he wait until the Mandalorian took it off planet for him to come after it and
I'm
take it back?
kind of wondering if he was like right behind the Mandalorian tracking it down. If he'd
but
like
he's been on the same planet. That
no,
was
but I'm saying
was
he
that
had just
Tatooine?
found
That was
out.
Tatooine.
Yeah, it
He'd
was
just
Tatooine.
found out that he'd gotten to the Jawas too late. He didn't know where it'd gone from the Jawas.
He's been on the planet for 37 years. You haven't heard there's a dude wearing the helmet?
This is only
I mean,
like
come
6
on.
years post Return of the Jedi.
Oh, okay, that's right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's been doing
it's
other
still
things.
6 years.
It took him
Came
a while
back-
to get out of the Sarlacc pit.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. Well, and clearly we speculated this when we first saw him, but clearly based on the fighting in this episode, he's been living as a Tusken Raider. Or living with
Or
them.
amongst them, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing too, is I think he probably this is like a dry cleaning situation where you take something to the Jawas and say, can you get the Sarlacc smell out of it? And then you don't claim it in time and they sell it to somebody else. So,
Well, and you
be.
mentioned the whole Jon Favreau crapping in a box and we would love it. Leave it to Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni to basically retcon Jango Fett into being a Mandalorian.
I want to, and again, a couple weeks ago, I told you guys that they kind of
I don't have a problem
co-opted
with that.
Jango Fett's backstory for the Mandalorian, where if you read the visual guide, it says, Jango Fett was a foundling and he was raided by Mandalorians and all that. Now that's never been referenced really anywhere. And
No, and I think that visual guide came out before. I mean, I think we were meant to find that out in this episode, not read it in the visual guide. But
no, that was the
Because they
Star
said it
Wars.
in
That
this
was the whole
episode.
universe visual guide, though. That was the one that combined all the things.
oh, was it? Because there's
Yeah.
a Mandalorian visual guide coming out.
No,
It's
this
not
was
out
before
already.
that, and this was
Okay.
years ago, but it was kind of a forgotten thing that was never addressed on screen. And I like that they wove that in there because it kind of made them, made his father and Mando kind of, of that same ilk.
And it's Beskar?
Yes.
Now it's painted Beskar. Why does he still have that, why did you put that 80s color
LED?
scheme on it?
Yeah.
Well, I think he didn't want it to look like his dad's armor. And after he got the helmet cleaned out,
Mace Windu found the one little place where
there's no
his lightsaber
he
could
needed
go through.
to go for the full
Beskar.
Beskar.
You got to wear a Beskar turtleneck.
He didn't do the
Well, that's the
Beskar
interesting
Goret.
thing is,
And
Beskar can block a lightsaber and can block blaster bolts, but only in the spots you're wearing it. The
Yeah.
other spots are totally exposed.
Yep.
But I so good. And maybe my favorite line in the whole episode, and I think you might have said it when we were texting Todd, is when he leans over and lets the rocket fire out his backpack and take out the ship. And Mando's like, good shot. He's like, I was aiming for the other one.
Yeah, so Dave,
good.
do you remember that from a movie? I almost think it was like Tango and Cash or something like this, where he shoots the guy in his shoulder, and he says, "Good shot." He says, "I was aiming for his head."
Yeah. I think that's been used in a couple of different things.
It was just so good.
Yeah.
But okay, put my mixed feelings aside. I'll try to put my feelings aside. I don't know how I feel about this. But again, they are digging deep into the Star Wars universe, and they're like, we are giving you giant chunks of stuff that's Star Wars. There's no probably bigger thing than we took a character that died 37 years ago, and here he is. We've resurrected him, and here he is in your face. That's huge. I mean, this little show, little in quotes, is sort of not a rewriting Star Wars. That is a huge deal, and they are not holding back.
That was
a
a
second.
34-minute episode with a bunch of 6 minutes of credits.
Under 30 minutes of show.
It felt like an hour.
Which I will tell you, if you had asked me afterwards, I would have said 45 minutes without question. And I've now seen it 3 times. I mean, Robert Rodriguez directed it. He does
which was awesome.
Action stuff. This thing was in the fights, the fight with the gaffy stick action was some of the most brutal thing we've ever, probably the most brutal thing we've ever seen.
Literally seeing the stormtrooper helmets shattering.
And so this is Barry. So I'm thinking this, and it's like they did that so well. He would swing out of frame, and you would see chunks of armor fly back into frame. So you didn't even see the most brutal impacts when he drove the blade thing into the guy's chest. They did a down shot, so you saw the thing thrust downward. You didn't necessarily see it go directly into his chest. It was like, but you knew what exactly was happening.
But there was one shot of a stormtrooper lying dead with his helmet shattered, and you could almost see the guy underneath.
Oh no, no question. But like I said, they tap danced around that edge of actually showing the thing, but there was no question that let's just say the gaffy stick has more uses than picking a Bantha's teeth. Okay.
Yeah.
And obviously it's metal. It's not wood like we had on that discussion.
Yeah.
It is not a wood item.
Yeah.
And this felt like it could have been a season finale cliffhanger. We've got 2 more episodes to go. What else are they planning on throwing at us?
They're gonna leave
season?
they're gonna leave that kid out there. There's a lot going on.
I will say,
Jedi Rock.
I will say there's
Ming-Na comes back. There's a lot in that episode.
And this might not mean as much to you guys. The Dark Troopers. I mean, those have been a big deal in the EU, in video games. They've made action figures of it. But to actually bring them in was and the design of them was exactly like they've been seen in the video games and in the toys.
And in Iron Man.
But there's so much. And the kid, I love the kid throwing the stormtroopers around.
No, but I'm just saying, it's like it was very the way they flew, the way they landed,
yes,
the whole.
Yes, and I love that they had the propulsion in their feet. That was very much like Iron Man. Yeah.
Yep. So
that was a jam-packed episode. Okay, so Grogu obviously commune with the Force, and he sent the signal out. Who's coming to get it? You know, it could be anything.
That again, it
can't be anything. It's got to be. They're building to something big. This isn't going to be
No,
Mundi
I'm
showing
saying
up.
it
This
could
is going to
be-
be something real.
Oh, I'm saying it could be anything big. So, could they bring Luke Skywalker back? Could they bring? People were talking about, hey, Sebastian Stan should play a young Luke Skywalker.
Have you seen the fan renderings of Sebastian Stan as Luke
Yeah.
Skywalker?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He could pull that off. He really could.
But he's filming next door doing the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Bring him in for a cameo.
So
that would be huge.
So
They
you don't
also
think
could
it's
have
you don't think
de-aged
it's
Mark Hamill. They could have brought Mark Hamill back.
They could.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
look
saying
at how
it could
well
be
they've
Luke.
de-aged other people.
It could be who's potentially alive. So it could be Luke. We talked about it being Mace Windu.
It could be Mace Windu.
I think
With
I'm a lot more leaning towards Mace
fake
Windu
hands.
than Luke, only because I think they've still got a bad taste in their mouth about recasting. I think they're still they're and when you recast a character and drop them in as an iconic character,
That's a huge.
Look at
huge
how well
thing.
they turned Michael Douglas 30 years younger. They could do it to Mark Hamill.
Man, can you imagine that if they actually do that?
oh, so you're saying
I don't wanna
you're
get
not
my hopes
saying-
up.
So you're basically saying render him on a younger, do like they did with Sean Young in Blade Runner 2049.
Totally.
Yeah, and
But let it be
Michael
his voice.
Caine, not Michael Caine, Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas.
and
I
his
mean,
voice.
Let him. He could
would
do
be
the
something
acting.
else.
They could de-age him, and it would be his voice.
And it would have to be very much a cameo.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, does that mean
mean,
that
look, it could
Grogu is one of the Knights of Ren, and we just never look down?
So
I
I,
don't
mean,
know,
that's
it's
the
just-
thing. Like
If it's something
what?
less than
It's-
that, I'm gonna be a little disappointed. I think. Like it's got to be
It's
something.
5 years after
I think
Jedi.
Six,
I mean,
6
Luke,
to 8 years is somewhere in there.
Luke's out there. I mean, he is the main Jedi. Right? How do
I think it's mechanical arm Mace Windu. The age is right.
He doesn't tie into this universe. Not universe.
Well, but he
doesn't
kind of
tie
does because
into.
I mean, as much as Ahsoka does, he does.
Okay, if they're talking about
guess.
doing a Mace Windu show, it's Mace training Grogu, and the Mando moves on to
Oh
other
my
things.
god! I don't know if I like that.
Well, I'd be happy with a cameo of some. It's got to be somebody big though. It can't just be like,
Could be
one
Leia.
of the, minor Jedi who might have survived or went underground or
That's what I'm
Ezra,
saying. It's
or,
got,
like,
if
it's gotta
they
be
do
somebody
if
big.
they drop somebody, it's got to be somebody when you got to say, like we've said this season over and over again. Holy shit! Yeah, it's got to be something that is totally unexpected, and
Well, that's the other thing. Like,
you can't say who is that supposed to be. It's got to be.
No, that's why I mean it can't be Ezra or it can't be somebody from the EU or the cartoons. It's got to be somebody. Like they've given us all this stuff up till this point, and we're only in episode 6. They're going to end with something big, right? I would think.
But that's the thing. Okay, let's say it's Luke, but he just disappears.
It could even be a Force ghost, or not a Force ghost, a Force projection of Luke. In which case, it doesn't even have to look that good.
Yoda.
Where'd they do a
Could be-
force
could be
projection?
Yoda.
Could be.
Or
Could be all of them.
could
all of
be
them.
Qui-Gon.
Yoda and whoever, and he just like dissipates into the Force with them or something.
I don't know, but I'm excited. I'm very excited to see. I'm almost glad they don't give us next week on The Mandalorian because I enjoy avoiding
It's Luke
everything,
Skywalker.
turning it on, and being blown
I am
away.
I'm a little concerned that we're going to end this. We're going to do the same thing this season they did. Like okay, now we have established all these characters. Now we're going to get all the characters back together for the group mission kind of thing. Because that seems to be what's happening.
they're already going after the Bill Burr character.
Right, I know that's what I'm saying, and they've got so.
All right, we've spent 35 minutes on this practically. So
Entirely on this. but
Mando,
yeah.
that was your Mando minute.
Yep,
Yeah,
that was a
I could
Mando
talk
minute.
about this
Sorry,
all
people.
night.
2 more weeks, and then we'll be better.
I don't think anybody's sorry that we're talking about it. I think everybody that listens is enjoying it.
We haven't literally talked about it, so too bad
I
if
will
it's
say
on
this.
air.
Last season was very good but uneven. This has been like an up ramp, and every episode has just thrown something more at you, and you're like, wow. And for them to drop a 29-minute episode and that almost to be unnoticeable, compared to everyone being like, what the hell, after the first 26-minute episode where it was just like a prologue.
Well, and what we haven't even talked about is the destruction of the Razor Crest. I mean, that was pretty
oh my God,
insane.
yeah.
Especially for all the people that just bought the $350 version of it from Hasbro.
Yeah, so my theory...
Just like someone who bought IG-88 or IG-11.
Yeah, IG-11.
Yes, I'm surprised. And you bought the other Mando before he changed the armor. It's like...
Yes.
I am shocked you didn't buy the Razor Crest. So... I have one of two theories. I think he's either going to they're either going to find another Razor Crest in a scrapyard somewhere, and we're going to end up with a Razor Crest 2, and with like a painted 2 on the side of it, or something. I don't know, whatever. But
I think so.
Or he's going to end up with Slave 1.
That ship kind of sucks.
I'm just saying.
Like upside
I'm just
down.
saying. There's a reason they destroyed this, and yeah. But
Well, he could end up with a variety of different ships. It's amazing to me, given everything that went into the creation of that model and all the photography they did with the actual practical models and all that. I mean, they weren't precious about it. They decided they needed to destroy it.
I'm telling you, he goes to Jakku. You bring up the the junkyard guy character. He walks him out into the middle of the airplane graveyard, and there this thing is sitting on one strut. He's like, yeah, I'll take that. Like the scene from Firefly, and it's like, how much for that one? That'd be a great way to end the season.
And I'm going to make a prediction right here. I don't know if it's the end of...
The rationale for his having that ship too was it was pre-Republic, so it had,
there were things that were grandfathered in on that ship that you couldn't get in a modern ship.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm going to make a prediction. I don't know if it's the end of this season or next season or when, but that Beskar Pike is going to go straight through Moff Gideon's.
Oh yeah, I've already said that. We're gonna see that.
Mando's going to kill Gideon with that spike.
Yep. I totally believe that. There's a reason for that spear surviving.
Yeah, so. And that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I love that out of everything on the wreckage of that ship, he's able to find the ball.
The ball. I know.
Okay, so my other theory for the spike, they're going to melt it down and make child-sized Mando armor.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Because they can sell more action figures that way.
Grogu in Beskar.
Yep.
Love it.
Okay, more next week, so be prepared. Okay, despite the Boba Fett, Mando is awesome, and we're loving it. Let's go to the other side of the spectrum. There was also a Lego holiday special.
Star Wars Lego holiday special. Which I'm guessing you didn't like, Dave.
Yeah, Dave.
It was kind of not great. Todd? Anybody?
I will say there were funny things in it.
Like 4?
No, there were a few funny things in it. But honestly, I don't embrace this universe in Legos quite the same way I did Batman. I love the Lego Batman movie. Absolutely love it. But I think what makes, and I thought a lot about this since watching this, I think what makes that work is there are tons of incarnations of Batman that are layered together in that, and you can make jokes off that. Whereas there's kind of one Star Wars universe, and this is a kind of a cartoonish sort of Star Wars universe, but played like it's straight.
All right, and I'm going to take the counterpoint only because I have a different perspective on it. Listen, I'm being honest. From the time that my kids were very young, some of the earliest video games they ever got were the Star Wars Lego video games because they were an entry-level video game and entry-level into Star Wars. And these versions of these characters have been around for 20 years now, They've gone from video games to cartoon specials to all kinds of stuff. There's a huge universe of Star Wars Lego. This is not...
Yeah, but these were all the new characters.
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
that's
but
what
it
I'm saying.
wasn't all
My
the
biggest
characters.
issue
These are
is-
It
direct
was all the
representations of new characters. I feel the Finn character was massively underrepresented.
No, but my issue is they're almost taking post Rise of Skywalker canon and like this isn't the place for that. This is
exactly
the place for,
if
like,
they had stuck to the
Finn
classic
to be
characters
trained as a Jedi
and had
'cause
these
we
characters
left
be a
that-
cameo or something. I could see that,
left
but
that-
they're trying to.
Well, but you're not seriously thinking that this somehow fits in with canon, right? This
No,
is
no, but
completely on the-
again-
to the
Okay,
left
but
of canon.
they shouldn't be telling this story in this Lego in a half-assed Lego thing that we all left Rise of Skywalker's like, does Finn have the Force? Will he be trained as a Jedi? And they just throw it into this thing.
That's
I got an
exactly.
issue with that.
This is meant to be a linear follow up to that, and you're like, really?
You
It's
could
not
have
a
done
linear
this
follow-up.
thing
It's a complete
anywhere
farce.
without
Oh no,
doing
it is
that.
Barry. It is. I'm saying. I'm not saying it's canon. I'm saying timeline wise, this is a follow up to that, and
Yeah.
it's not where we wanted to go. I mean, it's
No,
just,
I know. It's
No.
I just look at it as it's just meant to be fun. It's not meant to be taken seriously. It's meant for the jokes. And there were more than
But you
4
could have
jokes
done
in it.
that in any setting that didn't need to be like, hey, right after Rise of Skywalker, look what's going on. Like, could have been anywhere.
Yeah, I guess.
I
don't
will
know.
tell you,
I,
if
did,
you-
I found it kind of stupid most of
if
the time.
you go back and you watch Robot Chicken Star Wars, it has it all over this.
It doesn't need... They try to fit it into a linear storyline.
Yeah.
You don't need to do that.
And this is, well, and that was the other thing too. It's like there have been no instances of time travel in the Star Wars universe, and now and it was the theme in this thing, and it was just constant. And some of the best gags came with like all the characters coming together and stuff like that. All the people with black capes are bad. It's like things like that. It's some of the Obi-Wan, young Obi-Wan complaining about how boring the Trade Federation stuff was. It's like everybody else thought. Yeah.
I don't know. Look, I certainly am not saying I loved it. I thought it was, for what it was entertaining. I laughed a couple times. It was fun.
I will
Does
say
it need to exist? No.
it's the best Star Wars holiday special ever made.
There you
I
go.
think it's the second best.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely superior to the original. But I don't necessarily know if it needs to
that had
exist.
no storyline. I didn't like the storyline that they brought into it. You could have done something else.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway.
Okay.
So that's also on Disney Plus if you want to torture yourself.
Okay, one last
Dave
thing.
is the
and
wrong
I
guy.
hate to be
Dave
about
hates
this.
animation to begin with, so he's the wrong guy to be.
I don't want that. I don't want
mind
that
if it's
body
fun.
image
Like,
of
Robot
Daisy
Chicken
Ridley
is-
to be my last image of Rey.
Yes, I agree.
Seeing her chunky and blocky is just like
It was very unattractive.
it's just very
The
wrong
Robot
somehow.
Chicken stuff is funny. I think you could do funny without just be funnier. I don't know.
Well,
Just-
and
I didn't think
unfortunately,
there were a
we
couple
never
of funny
got
things.
We never got the Star Wars Detours show that they made 40 episodes of, and actually one of them leaked online last week, and it's now been taken down. But there was a full episode out on Reddit and linked to YouTube, and it all got pulled after a couple days. But
And what's
that's
it
the
called?
show that Seth. It's called Star Wars Detours. It's the show that Seth Green and George Lucas did together. It was an animated, clip show. They did 40. They literally completed 40 episodes. Are sitting on a shelf. But the fact that they've had them now for 10, they've been sitting for 10 years, so they don't have any of the sequel characters in it. So I don't know that they'll ever release it because it's now so far outside of what they had. The storylines have gone, and there's kids today would watch that and there's none of the characters they grew up with. So, but yeah, I mean, I actually was one of the podcasts I listened to was going back and playing interviews they had done 10 years ago with Lucas and Seth Green.
Right.
And yeah, they had 40 finished episodes of this thing, and it was right around the sale of the company, and Disney shelved it all, and it's just been sitting. So maybe it's not quite 10 years ago, but it was Celebration in California. So it was maybe 8 years ago, whatever it was. But yeah, it's called Star Wars Detours. The trailers are on YouTube. You can watch the trailers.
Mm. It's animated or it's stop motion?
It's animated, but it's Robot Chicken-esque comedy, so it's very quick one-liners and very fast. And that would have been fun, but it was at a time where Lucas thought he was done, so he was totally okay with there being like total parody, and it was very much like Robot Chicken and Family Guy style humor.
Yeah,
it's funny. There's
felt
an
like
interview.
They were just walking. They were trying to walk a fine line. And that just didn't make it work in a lot of levels. It was also, I guess it really was probably designed for a kid audience who shouldn't have seen those movies, and the characters wouldn't have made any sense to them. But yeah, I
don't know. I think they could have done the same thing without trying to weave a sort of storyline in there, And
why doesn't Yoda have a little blocky head? That's what it totally just threw me out of it. It's like, why does Yoda have a Yoda head and everybody else is a little round?
Have you seen the Star Wars Lego toys? That's what they look like.
I know. I'm just saying. It's like, you couldn't Lego-fy Yoda. It's just like, yeah.
There's actually an interview with George Lucas, speaking of George Lucas, saying that he was sort of planning the next set of movies when he sold the company.
Yeah.
And is a little upset that they didn't consult him more. You have 4 billion reasons why they did not consult you.
Have to go down this road again, because then I would jump in. But yeah, he has publicly said that he's not happy that they rejected it, that they both rejected what he had planned, and
that he
was given the impression they were proceeding with what he had planned. So, yeah.
Yeah, I looked this up quickly. They announced the series in 2012. And it was shelved officially in 2015. But yeah, they 39 episodes are completed, and there's 62 additional scripts finished, according to Wikipedia. So
someone will sell them to someone somewhere.
You would think that they would just throw them on Disney Plus at this point. I mean, why not?
I get it. It could be confusing, maybe. Who knows? Yeah, they're trying to sort of streamline the canon, I guess. But
anyway, they're always looking for more content for Disney Plus that's exclusive, and they've got almost 40 episodes of this thing sitting. It's not even like they're 40 unfinished episodes. They are 100% complete.
Yeah.
Someday. We'll see them.
Maybe.
Let's go what's in the box.
Show you with the box. Who's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box?
Regular Joe's What's in the Box.
Todd.
Okay.
What's in the box?
So this is something I ordered quite a while ago. This is a this is the box. This is a Maflex Batman Hush figure. It's super, super highly detailed. It's got like a Hot Toys kind of level hands and extra heads and all manner of stuff like this. I was really, really excited for this. I love the Hush version of Batman. It seems like it's kind of like the iconic version of Batman now. This has the biggest freaking cape I've ever seen. It's very nice. It's got wire in it, so you can bend it into like whatever you want and have it like doing all sorts of things.
Looks like Spawn's cape.
I am, I'm a poser by nature. I like to play with things and pose them. I have yet to be able to come up with a position for this character where he doesn't look like he has a circus tent draped over his shoulders.
It almost looks like it should have come with a basic cape and then this one if you wanted to do something.
Barry, you nailed it. Because if there was just like a normal rational cape, I would love it. The figure is great. They did a really good job. They did there's a super Bruce Wayne head. There's a little rod so that when he's launching the bat rope, from the gun, the little thing is shooting out of it and stuff. It's like I said, super well executed. This cape is just god awful big. And again, I'll post some pictures of it. I will keep trying. I guess kind of like the side swept thing is maybe the best.
That's not
Yeah,
so
that doesn't
bad.
look
You
so
could
bad.
probably
That looks good.
But
get some fabric and have someone make you a cake.
yeah, it's you may be that someone, Dave. And
Oh,
but
that's fine,
like
too.
I said, there's a lot of dramatic things like that you can do with it, and I will figure out something. But I will have to take like 7 other figures out of the display case to fit them in there because it is just so freaking big.
Takes up so much space. Yeah,
So
it's cool though.
Yeah. Barry, what do you got?
So I was I was vocal when Star Wars Celebration was canceled, obviously for obvious reasons, but they decided they were going to release all the merchandise anyway, and I was like, who wants merchandise from a convention that they didn't go to?
You did say
that. And then I
that.
ended up buying something.
Of course you did.
I'm going to show you guys what I got. I think they're cool. I got this patch, which says in the original font, a Lucasfilm limited production, which I liked. I'm going to put that on my backpack.
Yep.
But the real reason I placed an order, and I wouldn't have gotten the patch at all if I hadn't have gotten this, I got this coffee mug. It's the Empire Strikes Back 40th anniversary coffee mug. But what I liked about it was it's got the Millennium Falcon on the inside sort of peeking out. And then if you look all
That's
the way
cool.
in, it's got the space slug at the bottom of the mug.
Oh
that
my
is
god,
cool.
that's awesome.
I was like, when I saw that, I'm like, I've got to have this mug. So I ordered those things from Celebration Store. They actually arrived today. And then one other thing I wanted to show you guys, I ordered Natalie Portman's Fables book,
Oh, okay. Yep.
which
Did you get it signed?
happens to be signed by the one and only Natalie Portman.
Wait, where'd you order that from?
I got it on eBay.
Oh, you paid the money for it.
I did. Somebody bought it at Barnes & Noble's for $20 on Black Friday and sold it to me for $120. But
Okay.
we didn't talk at all on the show about the Natalie Portman send-in autograph signing, but if I were to have sent in the poster I wanted to send in, it would have cost me $775.
Yeah, if you sold all the blood in your body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I felt really good about this, which I am, as Dave knows, I'm going to remove that signature page and I'm going to mat it with a really nice photo of Padme, and that'll be a wonderful display that I will have done for a total of $130 versus
I've been
hundreds.
going stopping by my Barnes and Nobles because some people have been finding them out in the wild.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and I've seen some of them on eBay for even less than I paid, and I'm starting to see them now going for almost $200. So
well, they started at 200 when they announced her signing. They started going down.
yeah, but when people saw the price that her signing was going to cost, they started to go up again.
That's true.
So anyway,
Yeah.
Dave, what's in the box?
Okay, these are something I got a little while. So my favorite everyday carry flashlight is the Phoenix EO1. I've had it on the show before. It's a tiny little flashlight. I lost it somewhere. I don't know where it was. So I needed to replace it. And I really like that flashlight. So this is almost a fun with flashlights. And I'm like, let me just buy the new one. Of course, they don't still make the new one. They make the Phoenix EO1 V2, which is just slightly bigger, which is fine. So when I was looking around, I heard a lot of reviews. There's something called the Through Night something that's the same size. So I bought them both. They're cheap. So they're just slightly bigger. But now the new thing with these flashlights is, the other one was you turn the thing, it goes on. Now it has 3 different brightnesses. So you have to turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it on to get through the brightnesses, which is a little annoying. So I missed my old one. But so I decided to buy both, and I'm like, which one will I like? Well, here's this Through Night. I don't know if you could tell. When I turn it on... Wait. No. The initial brightness, that's it right there. There's almost nothing. So
That's for Dave. That's for like robbing the office at night. You have it like pinched between your teeth.
I can't even see anything
And
with
you,
this.
yes,
Yeah,
that's
it's
so the
pretty dim.
security guys don't see you. That's a good one.
So I do like the Phoenix one much better because the original brightness is much brighter. But I don't like having to do it 3 times. It's kind of annoying. I miss my old one. So, but of the 2, the Phoenix is better than the Through Night. So if you're looking for an everyday flashlight, I would recommend the Phoenix version 2.
Cool.
It's still like $20 or less than $20, but fits in your pocket.
Makes a good
Super
stocking
bright.
stuffer.
Good stocking stuffer. So that's sort of what's in the box. Todd, do you have a last thought?
I was just going to say, yesterday Chuck Yeager passed at 97. And
It's a good run.
That's a hell of a run. And so I texted you guys High Flight, which I always think of when my uncle was a pilot. I have that on a plaque from his office wall with his fighter pilot wings mounted on it.
Oh,
I'll
that's
send you a
cool.
picture of that sometime. And but I always go back to that when I think about when we lose a pilot of that era. And there were a few of that era of his stature. But damn, I mean, that was for what that guy did in his lifetime. Living to 97 is pretty amazing. So
Yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
right? He could have been in a lot of times that he could have ended it all.
oh my God, yes.
Guys like him were literally cast out of steel. Like
Yeah.
you
Oh
couldn't-
yeah. No. There's
nothing rattled him and those types of guys, and it's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Yeah,
anyways.
so rest in peace. A good run.
And
for
the
sure.
very first G.I. Joe Collectors Club convention set was actually an homage to him.
Yep.
1997 convention
Yep,
figure.
the test pilot.
Yeah,
Yep.
supersonic test pilot. Yeah,
Yep.
That's a long time ago. It makes
It
us
is.
all old.
Yes.
and I still have mine.
So next week, more Mando, I'm sure. God knows what they're going to pull out.
Yeah.
Well, as you listen to this, it will be on. So
Yeah. So you may have watched that before you heard this, and you're like, well, what are you talking about? But we haven't seen it yet.
So it was awesome seeing Luke and Mace Windu back
Yeah, that's right.
in a
Let's
buddy
let's
film.
put our excerpt in from next week right now. I mean,
Yeah.
who would have thought that they would have de-aged the entire cast of the third film and wedged him in there like that? It was a little clunky, but hey, they made it work. So
It was
Exactly.
McClunky.
it was McClunky. It was a little
McClunky.
McClunky. Yeah.
And with that-
I don't understand what Greedo was doing there, but it's one of those things. And B. Arthur, come on, that's going deep,
Yeah.
you know. So
I don't think you can possibly DHB Arthur. She always looked old.
She always looked old.
yeah. So
Okay, and now thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
thanks for listening.